Amani, thank you. Now, does my bum look big up here? There is a reason why I'm asking. The biggest national health checkup in Australian history has found out that while we are smoking and drinking less, we are still putting on weight. Now, the Australian Health Survey by the Bureau of Statistics found 63% of Australian adults are now classified as overweight or obese. That's up more than 2% in just 4 years. Incredibly, 70% of men rate as obese or overweight. A male on average weighs 3.9 kilos more than we did in 1995. For women, the weight gain is 4.1 kilos. There is some relative good news. The proportion of obese or overweight children appears to have stabilised around 25%. A little earlier, I spoke to Michelle Bridges from 10's The Biggest Loser. Michelle, good to see you. The news, however, is terrible, isn't it, Michelle? Men, it seems, are more overweight, more obese, even than women, and women have got nothing to celebrate here.
It's bad news all round, and at some point or another, we as Australians and even globally have to stop and take stock. I mean, this is our life. This is the way that we live. This is our quality of life. These are our parents, our fathers, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters, our cafe owners, our baristas, our bus drivers. These are the people that we work with. These are our friends and our family. And this is Australia. And we have to wake up and see where we're headed. Because
where we're headed on the predictions that are contained in this data is that our children are going to have a lower life expectancy than us because of obesity.
This is extraordinary. Consider the fact that your children currently, right now, could potentially have a life expectancy that's shorter than yours. And this is due to obesity.
I think that might be the first time that the next generation's life expectancy is lower than the one of the previous generation, so it really is a significant moment. One piece of good news, smoking is down. Are there any tricks that we can learn from the battle against smoking that can be applied and perhaps should be applied to the way we eat?
Hugh, you are bang on the money. This is such a topical debate, and it's one that we can really take some cues from, is the smoking industry. We were managed to rein that industry back over the last 50 years, and we did that through legislation. We are an obese nation, and we're close to #1 on the charts. And we can do this through legislation. If we can use the same principles, I mean, could you imagine if we could reduce the amount of car parks in fast food industry, if we could reduce the amount of drive-thrus in fast food industry, it wouldn't stop, but it would certainly put the brakes on. And there's a lot of money in those industries, I understand that, and there's plenty of brownie points to be scored politically, but we have to look after our nation, and the government needs to step up.
Well, I mean, I can hear people complaining about
$60 billion.
I can hear people complaining already about the notion that the nanny state is going to take this next step into legislating what we can eat. But other than taking drive-thrus out of our suburbs, what else can we do? I mean, if we want to eat stuff, can't we eat it?
You know, this is the dilemma that we're in. We're surrounded by food, we're surrounded by calorie-dense food, and we don't tend to do a lot of movement or activity or exercise these days. That said, we spend $60 billion on obesity-related illnesses in this country. We are a dying race if we don't sort this out. And I know that may sound quite dramatic, but the reality is that by 2025, on the projected stats that we have currently, 80% of this country will be overweight or obese. And that is the #1 killer in this country. It supersedes all the diseases. It supersedes the road toll. It supersedes all of the other things that we tend to put the microscope on, but we need to stop and understand that it is our health and it's the way that we're feeding ourselves that is killing us and costing this country way too much money. We've got to get our head out of the sand and take stock.
Michelle, I'll tolerate almost anything except for legislated compulsory star jumps in the local park. Good to talk to you tonight.
Thank you, Hugh.